Next day after cleaning the garage, it's probably midday right now. I think it's around noon. Check out the gate. Looks awesome. I love it. And what we already did, we woke up around 7 o'clock-ish. We've been out for 4 hours and we have been doing Bearded Thrift Machine stuff in the backyard. And we found some really good stuff out of a very cheap locker, which you don't find a lot anymore. The locker only costs us $400. It'll be on the Bearded Thrift Machine very soon. And then we found some decent stuff in there. A lot of times these lockers are very expensive nowadays. And to find anything good, this one looked like a whole bunch of junk. It's a huge locker, 10 by 20. And so happy to find some stuff in there. But what we got to do now is really sift through the junk compared to the good stuff, what we can sell, what we can donate, what needs to be thrown away. We got some stuff that we want to call a couple teachers that we know and see if they want, and then go from there. But the tractor is actually almost out of gas. You don't want to run these things out of gas. It'll actually mess up a ton of stuff when it comes to tractors. I learned that. Not that I ran it out of gas. You guys are the ones that told me. And then also I got to grease all the fittings on it. And in 5 to 6 hours, I have to call to get this in for the maintenance on it. We do have a broken piece actually on the tractor, which I cannot fix it. I'm gonna have them fix it. Should be under warranty. I think there's a warranty on this thing. One of these, I can't remember which one it is. I'm guessing it's this one. It might be this one, I don't know. Once you put this down, it will not come back up. So maybe something's bent inside of this thing right here. Maybe there's a connection that's messed up, but this is definitely not working. So I can't really use this because I do use these, because if you get on to something real hard with this, it will pull this with no problem. Pull it back, like it'll move the entire tractor. And then the next thing you know, you're hanging out in a ditch where you don't want to be. Also, another thing is the shed. Kayla's mom's birthday is today, so they're gonna do girl things, go out and do all that stuff. And I was gonna try to get this up today. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that by myself. I might give it a whirl, but all of this has to move. This has to be, because I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna measure out exactly where I want it. Make sure the ground is fairly level. It doesn't have to be like super level. Just looking at it, it looks kind of level. So it'll be, I think, be perfectly fine. And then I got the dimensions right here. And that's what I really wanted to see, was the dimensions of this. I think it's a 10 by, I think I said yesterday what it was, but I can't really remember. It's a 10 by 8.5. So it's 10 foot by 8.5. So 10 foot long, 8.5 wide. So we'll do a measurement here, get a good look at it. I think it's going to fit perfectly here. And Kayla said she liked the idea of having like an outside sink with this, because this is hooked up for another RV. Honestly, we are not going to have another RV. And if somebody comes down, like my brother comes down or something and wants to park, we'll just move this one out of the way up there somewhere, and then they can park here, type of deal. So also, we did buy a couple things for the RV that I want to get done today. A lot of it's going to have to do with the battery. We are killing this battery. We actually left some lights on, and the battery's almost dead, and that is not good when it comes to these batteries. You want to go ahead and make sure they're charged. And also, we still have not got our Wi-Fi. UPS is like not refusing to set. We don't know where the package is. Basically what happened was, it was required only signature. They came once. We were not here to sign. We then went online and signed, and this was weeks ago. And right now when we call, they say, oh no, it's on the truck, it's out for delivery. Well, we haven't got it in a week or so. So we're getting kind of irritated about it, to be quite honest with you. And we are going to probably move to a different type of internet, because and something ever happened here, right, where we could not get a signal or something, that would basically put us down to not so good, because we make our living on the internet. So we are going to do a Starlink for the business, and it's going to be hooked up to the barn, which is perfect, because if you look, there ain't nothing there but sky. So we have nothing in the way. Now, I did read that Starlink can be affected by snow. Luckily, we don't get a lot of snow. And also very heavy rain, which we get a lot of heavy rain. So that is going to be an issue there about the Starlink, hopefully. But as long as you mount it pretty high and up out of the way, it seems like it should be good to go with no issues. And then we would know that we would always have internet in the barn, where we would be good to go for business purposes. Like right now, the Wi-Fi does not work in the house. I'm hooked directly to our HTC or whatever it's called. That's working on the big computer, which is fine. That's how I edit everything. But right now, we don't have nothing else. Like, it's super annoying. We are able to hotspot, but we're buying our data at a clip of $20 every 5 days. That's how much data we're using, I think. So we're definitely spending a ton of money. We don't know where UPS is. Kayla has called them twice, the same answer. So my thing was, well, we should just go ahead and buy another router, get it here, and then put a claim open that we never got the other one. So I don't know what we're doing, but for the foreseeable future, I'm gonna get on the tractor, go fill it up with diesel, and start going through all that mess. So hours and hours and hours later, check on behind me, boom, everything is cleaned up. It's nice outside, a little windy. I was actually just unraveling the hopper. Totally, I got all these gigantic things off, and it's got like a safety thing here, which I'm not 100% sure if you would attach something to this safety thing, pull the safety, then pull the big one, or move the safety one when you're ready to actually dump it, and then pull this, because once you pull this thing just flies forward. Because I just pulled it and everything just went boop that way. And that means everything that was on top of it. I didn't think that was gonna happen that fast, but it's definitely neat. I didn't use it today, but the thing I did use today that was in the beginning of this video or somewhere in this video is the forklift magnet. Now, I am coming into a couple issues with the forklift magnet, which you guys were probably like, well, that's great if you have like a flat land. You know, if everything's nice and flat, then the forklift magnet would be nice and flat, where like if you look out here, this is not flat. It looks actually super flat on video. It is 100% not. Like there's a bulge here, there's like a hill there, there's a dip there. Over there it dips down where the water goes, and then obviously how they built the road, which is nice, it's concaved. Yeah, convex would be this way. Concaved, the water runs off of it into the yard. But for magneting, I don't even know if that's a word, you got to be always on the joystick, which is fine. But I'm like running in, but it's working out. I'll show you what, so far it's picked up, and I only did this little spot over here. Like I said, we have like 36 tires that run in and out of this place. So we definitely don't want to get a whole bunch of nails. Also have to still go to get a measuring tape to figure out exactly where this is going to go. 8x10 we have here. I was able to move the trailer back with the tractor. That right there is super heavy. I think that pallet, the stuff inside that pallet weighs hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Then again, the hopper. And then here, I did move this over because I was gonna go ahead and try to do this myself, but I watched a little bit of it on the YouTubes, and it will be a lot easier with either my dad's help or Kayla's help. Somebody's help, because there's a lot of things that have to be held up in place as you screw some things in. So I was thinking I could really annoy myself and try to do it just me and y'all, but just for the sake of everybody's sanity, we're gonna go ahead and just wait till we have another pair of hands to get that done, because once it's done, I think it's gonna look all right here. The only other place you could put it would be back there, but we're gonna be in and out of this shed a ton. And when it's raining, when it's cold, when it's hot, and this part right here does not flood at all. So we don't want to have the tractor running in and out of something where we would mess up the lawn. Because like I said, we're using this more and more for business. You got to kind of keep the business growing and everything like that. So eventually we might do like a film studio outside with all this stuff enclosed into one area, but that's years down the line. For right now, we're gonna go ahead and plop a shed right here. Then we will also probably buy another small shed for personal use. This one's just business stuff. This is just gonna be for the stuff that we, you know, like this stuff. We don't want this stuff just hanging out, you know? And like I said, I think eventually we're gonna go ahead and get rid of this and use the shed as what we're using this for, which is just storage, or figure out something. But we just don't want this hanging out in the yard. One, it doesn't look that good. Two, everything gets rained on. So, and then back here is the mess that I think I made. Basically, none of this stuff is Kayla's, but we definitely do need a shed back here that we can put our like lawn equipment in. And I would probably put it back there. See how our neighbor has like a little tiny shed right there? I mean, if you just put it back there in that corner, that doesn't get all that wet, but you could go ahead and probably elevate it, which would not be that difficult. And then be able to put a shed back there. I was asking Kayla if she did want to get an actual like greenhouse. Like I said before, she said no so far. So that's not bad. We have to work on the RV also. One in particular thing that we have to do is get the, I think it's called like a briefcase solar panel on the front of it for the battery. Now I've never even seen one of these things before. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing figured out up here, because this is dying. Sooner or later, I think we have to winterize this. So that's another thing that we've never done. I'm sure I can YouTube it and figure out how to winterize it. But also inside today, there are the stabilizers in the front, and I do want to go ahead and put the stabilizers on in the front of this. I do not think it's that hard. But then again, I think that's how I start every sentence when I'm about ready to do something. It ain't that hard. The next, 25,000 hours later, I'm still out there trying to figure out how to do it. But so this will be done another day. Hopefully in the next, I don't know, week or so, we'll get that done. And then check out what I picked up on the magnet so far. I can't really show, like, the magnet, the tractor's on, so it's nice and loud. But, I mean, these right here, check this out. This is just a whole bunch of flat tires. Whoa, that's how strong the magnet is. So I kind of wanted to know also, see, definitely some flat tires, is how far away do you have to be? All right, so it's got to be closer than that. Closer than that. Okay, so you might be able to be about 6 inches off the ground, and it would still pick up stuff. Oh, yep. You might want to just hold on to it there, bud. There you go. Yeah, this one right here, that one always finds a tire. So we're going to go ahead, and the trick of it is what you don't want to dump out of the actual dumpster is throw it way up in here, because it all gets dumped out, obviously, through this thing. And again, it's not their fault. It's just how dumpsters are made, is that they're not, nail tight. What else we got on here? I think we got a couple more things. Just one, looks like a cotter pin or something, and then one bolt right there. That would definitely maybe go through a tractor tire. I don't think it's going to go through a car tire. It could, and then I think that's everything. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to do this area right here, and then we're not going to have anything over here next to the gazebo or anything like that, just because they don't ever dump it there. Where they dump it is in this area right there, that area, and they also dump it up there on the driveway area. So as long as I hit that a couple times, I think that will be absolutely perfectly fine. And what I might do is then take the walker, the other magnet walker, and just see if I find anything else, just to see how good this is. This magnet is 10 times stronger than that one. But like I said, I don't know if I'm getting close enough to the ground, and a lot of times I'm hitting the ground, which I don't know if it's scraping off the stuff. Also, if you take a look, say I'm like doing this and I know that there's, like nails, the tires actually stick out slightly further than the magnet. It doesn't look like it. Actually, they might not. I'll take it back. I was just going to tell you that the tires stick out further. They don't. So that's good. So you won't get a nail in your tire if you're doing everything correctly. So I'm going to go ahead, hop on here for the next 30 minutes, I'm sure. Go around the yard, try to pick up as many things as I can. This is the solar panel kit that we're going to be installing here in a second. Like I said, never looked at one before. We're going to throw it up here, see what it looks like. I will tell you this, though, in the wintertime, there is not a lot of sun back here. In the summertime, the sun comes like this way or something. But like in the wintertime, these trees really do an excellent job in keeping this nice and shaded. And I don't know if that was planned by the previous owners, but they did a really good job, because this gets no sun back here. Really good for hanging out and keeping everything nice and cool. Not good if you're trying to do anything solar. There's a big old dent on this thing. What is that? Was that always there? Can y'all see it? Big old dent. Huh. Never noticed that before. Any more dents on the side of it? Nah. I gotta check these tires though. So there is a little bit of sun right here, so we know further out here I might put the solar panel, and then that'll catch some of the sun to trickle charge that. I just don't know how long the leads are. So we're gonna go ahead, jump on the tractor, roam around a little bit, see what else we can pick up, and then jump on the RV work. All right, so it's been a little bit, and I did both the tractor and then I did the handheld one, and the tractor one was doing pretty good until, as you can tell right here, I hit a whole bunch of dirt and it wiped everything off that I had, because I kept checking it. So we just have a little bit on here, but the worst thing is I don't remember where I wiped it off at. So then I had to go ahead and get this guy, and then I found everything that wiped off the big one. This was all picked up by the tractor magnet, but the worst thing is that I scraped the ground, which scraped all of that off of there. So honestly, the tractor magnet would work great if you had really flat ground. It would be like a no-brainer to have this. In this instance, it's not bad. I just got to get better, I think, on the controls where you could just sit here and go back and forth and back and forth. I think that took me like 30 to 40 minutes. And if I'm going with time, I'm always like, I gotta save time. But I'm telling you right now, is that I'd have done a lot faster just walking this thing. Probably taking me 20 minutes to walk it, and I get cardiovascular stuff in instead of the tractor. Where, so, I don't know, it'll come in handy, I promise you. That's what I told Kayla. I said, it'll come in handy. One day we'll be like, wow, I'm so glad that we have this. I'm just not seeing it as right now. So one day we might spill a whole bunch of stuff and this magnet might not be strong enough to do it. I don't know, but it will come in handy. I'll continue to use it back here. The only thing I don't like about it is that it is a wide fork length or fork width. And then the hopper is a small fork width. So what you have to do is each time move the forks in and out. Again, doesn't seem like a big deal, but those forks are hard to move. I don't know if they need some grease on them or something, but to move them widthwise is kind of a pain. But I'm impressed. Everything should be good here. I did everything. All of the gravel area is done. I have full confidence that there is no nails in this area whatsoever. So let's go ahead. All the sun is already gone for the day. I think it's going on 3 or 4 o'clock. Day is going very quickly, very, very quickly. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and open up the solar panel case, see exactly what we're working with there, and let y'all see what we're working with. Again, I've never done this before, so let's go over here, take a little look-see what we are working with. The 12 volt, 20 watt solar panel kit, 20 watt monocrystalline solar power charger and maintainer. I don't know the difference between 20 volt and 20 watt and 12 volt, to be quite honest with you. I know a car battery is 12 volt. That's in a 9 volt battery. You'll shock your tongue if you put your tongue on it. That's about all I know when it comes to electricity. But let's see what we're working with here. All right, that's nice. Not seeing anything yet. We have a little doodad, and this was again, we don't even like link stuff. We don't get money for the stuff that we buy on here. We buy stuff thinking that we're actually going to use it, and then it kind of turns into a review at that point because we tell you our honest opinion, and we really don't ever link anything. I guess we should. I know we had a lot of people ask us to link stuff. The mattress box spring had a ton of people asking about that, so we might link that down below if I remember. But we really just buy this stuff thinking that it's going to work. And then we kind of go for that. One of the best things, honestly, we had a lot of people ask about it, is definitely that light that I bought for the under hood light. I have used that. I'm actually going to buy another one. That's how much I use this thing. Is because like yesterday when me and Dad were working, we needed hanging lights because we had to turn off the electric, and my little lights weren't working, and this is battery powered, and they last for like 4 to 5 hours without a charge. But it's new, so I don't know if it's always going to last 4 to 5 hours, but so far that light has been awesome. It has really saved me a lot of headache, not just working on the car, but just generally around the house. It is a very nice light. So this does have a long cord for it, which is nice. Then you do have this guy, oh, charging solar. How are you charging? You're not even plugged in yet there, crazy dude. All right, this has a charger bit here. It's got something going on there. This can probably go to that. This can go to that. This is a solar panel. Okay, all right, let's go over there and see what type of stuff we got going on. This is not going to be very difficult, obviously. This, I'm sure, goes on here somehow. Probably with wing nuts. All right, let's put this on there with wing nuts. I don't think I can do this by holding this, so I might set y'all up right here. All right, y'all are kind of hanging out with me in the backyard, like I said before, is that it's just me and y'all today. Kayla's out with her mom on her birthday, and they're out. I think I just saw the old credit card swipe at Hobby Lobby. So she's up there at Hobby Lobby probably getting some Christmas stuff. And I do thank and so does she, all of the nice comments about her doing the question and answer thing. She really, I always try to get her, and I always try to tell her to get on camera. And YouTube is one of those things, it just takes a while, kind of like public speaking. I actually speak much better into a camera than I do public speaking. Like right now, I'm literally in my backyard just having a conversation with y'all because I feel like you're here with me. But if you guys were actually here with y'all, all 30,000 were standing in front of me, I'd be sweating bullets. I hate to tell y'all. You're my friends, but I'd be sweating some bullets, you know? So I do much better. Where's the hole at? I do much better talking to a camera, which usually is not a thing. Usually I think a lot of people have trouble talking to a camera, but I think that's the law enforcement part. 10 years, I was always just, you're always on camera in law enforcement, where you kind of got used to looking at yourself kind of like an idiot, you know? So I'm very used to me looking like a clownfish in front of a lot of people. And you're saying, well, in law enforcement, you're in front of a lot of people. Yeah, wait till they play that in court. And you're sitting there and you said a couple stupid things on the side of a road, and then you're in court, and like just criminal court, not your case, just, you know, maybe a DUI that you did or whatever, and you acted like a clown or said something stupid. Trust me, you find real quick humility, because you're like, oh yeah, I am an idiot. That is true. So what we're doing here, y'all, is I got this thing stuck under this thing. Well, how's it go in? There you go, just like that. Put the washer on. Again, there's no sun, so me hooking this up right now is not going to be that amazing, but I do want to hook it up for tomorrow to hopefully start charging the battery, because the battery's on either a third or a quarter. We'll go inside and take a look. So it sits up like this, I'm assuming, right there. It says that it's on solar right now. Charged. Okay. All right, let's go over there, see exactly the hookups that we have, and see exactly what we need to do to get this thing hooked up properly. So the Coleman 17B or 17R, whatever we have here, actually has a little thing that you plug this into, or you're supposed to. Let me show you what I'm talking about. It's a little plug right there. It says solar on the side, domestic solar. Well, the dealio is, y'all, is that I did plug that into there, and I had it all set up the exact same, and it was not doing anything here from the solar panel charging control device. So what I did was I just went straight to the battery source here, and this is now saying that it's charging and getting a little bit of solar. So take a look at it, right? Now there's no way I can actually know. The worst thing is I might get some rain in it. Maybe not. Let's see if I can do something here where I can switch this over a little bit without touching negatives and positives. And because if you touch the negatives and positive, guess what? You're positively gonna have a bad day, probably. Let me just kind of go a little bit like this. Okay, and go ahead and slam it. There you go, look, waterproof. And this is 12-volt waterproof controller. Okay, so it's saying it's charging and it's getting solar. And that little thing back there, I don't know if I'm doing it wrong. I feel like you can't really do it wrong because there's only one plug. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel like you just beep, bop, boop, put that in there and it would work. And it is getting a little bit of solar. Look, the sun right there is charging her up. So let's go ahead, and it might take a day. It might take more than a day. I have no idea. It's a trickle charger, so it's not going to be very fast. But let's take a look at this. The battery is, okay, so it's a third. So it's a third empty. Our fresh tank is almost full. Our black tank is a third, and our gray tank is empty. So we need to go ahead and actually flush the fresh tank, which I believe, because we need to get all that water out of there before it gets cold out and freezes, because I think it just freezes your tanks. We'll get all that stuff. It's not supposed to, I mean, it's like November, so you're not talking, I don't know, late November, early December. Late December definitely will be freezing cold, and especially out here. Then January, February is really cold out here. And then January, February, March, it starts actually getting a little bit better. But we're going to go ahead. It's still saying it's charging, so I'm going to keep it there facing the sun. And that was only, I want to say $50, I'm pretty sure. And I think that it's worth it. I am a little sad that that doesn't work, which makes me think the one on the roof probably doesn't work. Or maybe a fuse, because this thing is, I don't know nothing about electric, honestly. Like, my brother is an electrician and is incredibly smart when it comes to like electrical currents and stuff. I might have to call him and figure out, maybe I have like a fuse that's busted, because I feel like you should be getting some sort of reading when you plug it in here. He also is a big RV guy. He's got a big RV they pulls behind a truck. It's not quite a fifth wheel, but she's very close to a fifth wheel. So that's not too shabby. The other thing that I want to get done today, I'll get the golf cart and get some tools, as I don't see anything. Oh, they're right here. Here are the jacks that we have. This is the ones that were delivered to the lawyer up the street. I don't know if I told you that story, that a lawyer up the street came down here and was like, hey, are you Julie? And I said, yeah, that's me. And then he handed something in my hand, and I was like, oh man, I've seen shows and I've seen stuff like this. I got served. It's like a movie or something. And then he was like, no, actually, I just have one of your boxes we accidentally signed for it, and I just wanted to be proper about it. And I was like, oh, no big deal. I appreciate you got it. So what we're going to do is take a look at these. These are the big jacks that go up in the front. The worst thing is I don't see any bolts here. This has a 6,500 pound capacity. Why do they tell you that you can't lift with that? 6,500 pounds. The tongue of that thing is nowhere near 6,500 pounds. Like, not even close. So what I'll do is take a look at this. There is no direction, so I'll just have to look at it. Is that some sort of, oh, it's a thingamajiggy that you do the thing with that. There's got to be some bolts. No bolts. Okay. Give me a second. All right. I don't know if I bought the wrong jacks, but it looked on like Facebook and YouTube. People did this with no problem whatsoever. I will tell you this, that this will have to be definitely a little bit longer of a process. What's going on is, if you look in this region exactly, probably where this needs to go, there ain't no bolt holes here. I could have swore I saw on the internet that there was bolt holes. There's definitely not. So what we're gonna do is, instead of drilling this with bolt holes, which we still might, we might just weld, I don't know, we might just weld it to this type of deal. Or I might just go ahead and do the bolt holes. That's super, so you can't get any bolts on that. This is a tube. So if you look on this side, everybody, I know it's kind of hard to see, this is a tube. You ain't gonna get nothing on the inside of that. And this is angle here. So what you're gonna have to do is weld this, boop, to this most likely, and that it should hold. There's no reason that it shouldn't. Or we use self-tappers to go in there, but I feel like that's not the correct way to do it. We could weld it and use self-tappers. That might be all right. I just don't see, is that a tarp? I will tell you this, y'all. I have never really looked at a RV before. That is 100% a black tarp shoved in there. 100% that goes through the entire thing. Interesting. I will tell you that these things are not built like I thought they would be. These things are built like, you know, they're just not, I mean, this again, lower end one, but what we're gonna have to do is either self-tapper this thing on here, which I just find that to be a bad idea, or we can go ahead and get the welder out and weld this bad boy. Not right now, I'll tell you this, not now, but at a later date, I can go ahead and weld this thing on here. What I could do though is do the rear lights. So I know I want to get the rear lights done, and let me show you what's going on with that, because we still don't have the license plate on here because the license plate is broken. The hitch thing is broken on the license plate, so we can't actually put that on there quite yet. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Also, let's see how they did these. They weld these or self-tapper? Oh, that's a self-tapper. All day long, that's what that is. They put 3 self-tappers in there. How many you got on this side? 3. They just straight up self-tappered these things. All right, well, if you follow, that's exactly why they're telling you not to like use this. They just got a sheet metal screw and went right through it. Well, that type of idea, I have some of those. I could definitely just slap it on there. Then if I see like it's falling off, then we'll weld it. That could work today. But the lights, I got good lights inside. And then the thing is about the lights is that this, you gotta take this entire thing off to get this off. So we're gonna go ahead, rip this thing off of here, get a new light in here. We got LED lights. I'm sure there's gonna be some small wiring that has to be done. That's not a huge deal, but then we can actually put our license plate on and we can be legal. We're in the shop and we're looking for self-tapping screws. I know we got them. That's exactly what we've been using for the fence. And check it out, we have some self-tappers here. Now the ones on there do look slightly bigger, but listen, I think these will work just fine, because what I might do is just use these to hold it up in place, and then we might just go ahead and weld that on there. So we're gonna grab some 2x4s because I have an idea to keep it up while I'm like working on it type of deal. So we'll use that. We'll go ahead and make sure we have a bit for this. We will grab the Milwaukee. Yep, that goes there like that. I do need some washers, and this is where I need to actually start figuring out stuff in the garage. I am a huge fan of being organized when it comes to tools, because like right now, I'm looking for some washers. I know that I have washers somewhere. Do I know where they're at? Absolutely not, which means that it'll take me the next 20 minutes, if I even do find them, to find the washers that I need. So I will probably tonight go ahead and start doing this and figuring out where I want everything, because I have no idea where this stuff is. Yeah, I have, what is that? Is that screws or washers? No, nothing there. Nothing. Got cotter pins. If y'all need some cotter pins, got that. Yeah, see, this is going to take me forever to find the washers that I need, but it looks like they're sticking 3 self-tappers, and that's the only thing that they're using. So, hey, if the manufacturer did it, who am I to say that it ain't going to work type of deal? So we're going to go ahead, go over here to Dad's tools, because Dad's always got the stuff you need, to be quite honest with you. Just because I think he's been doing it for so long, he's like, listen, just throw all your stuff in stuff that looks like this, and then you'll eventually find the stuff that you need. I need washers. Do you got any, Dad? All right. Got a big thing there. I'm not seeing huge nuts and bolts. What is this? No, that's not it. I'll make my own washer if I got to. Where? They ain't got no washers? Let me cut the camera. We'll look for some. So I did find 6 small washers. And then we do have the, the thingamajiggies that we're going to drill into the thingamajiggy. Really hard to do this by myself holding a camera. So what we're going to do is go ahead and just get everything set up, show you what I'm going to do. Obviously, they just need to go this way. This thing actually facing out. That's going to be like the biggest thing here, is make sure that is actually facing out. And then once that is done, I'll just beep, pop, boop, drill it into place. And then I'm definitely probably going to weld it. I do not think that just 6 self-tappers are going to make that work. Actually, that would be 6 per. I actually need 12 washers. I only got 6 washers. Well, first, let's see if it works. And then if I do need more washers, I'll go up there and grab some. I don't even know if we have any more 6 of those. But let's just see if this thing works first. And then we'll go from there. What I did was put some blocking down here. Then I tighten this up against it. And I can get definitely 3 or 4 self-tappers on the front side, and definitely 3 self-tappers on the back side. Again, to me, I just think that's crazy to do it like that. But hey, that's what the manufacturer does. It's going to be a little bit wonky, I think. Possibly. Let me check in the back to see if they put this on the front brace, because there's 2 braces here. There's a front and a back. Let's see what they did. Okay, this one is directly not even on anything that looks like what I got going on up there. That is actually attached to the bumper. Huh. Riddle me that. Let's see if I should just attach it. Instead of attaching it to this, if I should just attach it to this piece. The only reason I say that is that it will at least be flush if I do it that way. See, right now, it's sitting on this angle iron, and that's not flush with this. So I think that you want to keep it at least attached to the frame, and then it should be good to go like that. The way I have it now is there's going to be like it's going to be cockeyed, kind of like this. But if I move it over here, I think it'd be a lot better. I like this idea a lot better. You can get 3 self-tappers in each one. That would be the exact same as the back. So I definitely need more washers. But let's go ahead, that would be 12. No, 6. You only got 6 per thingamajiggy. I think it's going to work out. Let's go ahead, get up from this, put 6 self-tappers in this thing and see if it works. It's always so fun working on stuff. So what happened was, everything's doing fine, but then I dropped a bolt inside of here, underneath that plate. As you can tell, there's a bolt, and then it's not even a bolt. Well, the bolt's in there. But then I was like, let me see, because these have little magnetic things on them, the little bits that I use. So I was like, hey, why don't I go ahead and see if I can put the magnetic thing down there and grab that, because that'll be smart, because then it'd be magnetic and it would just pull it up. Turns out not smart, because what happened was I dropped that in there. So now I have to go get a magnet up here and also find 6 washers, but it looks pretty good. I probably still will throw some welds on there, because we also have to weld the back bumper together because it tends to fall off if you put too much weight on it. So we will definitely go ahead and do that, which you shouldn't put too much weight on there, because again, this axle is not rated for a lot, like hardly at all. It's rated for the weight of the camper, and so if you put a lot of weight on it, it will break that axle and definitely break them leaf springs. So what we got going on here, where's my magnet? Y'all know I like my magnet. There's a magnet right there. We can go ahead and fish that out of there. And then we'll go ahead and dump this thing back out and see if we can find 6 more washers, go back there and put the other one on. All right, let's see if this works. All right, I feel like we got, nope, ain't got nothing there. How about now? Nothing, all right. I can't see nothing. I think, is that too jammed in there? Oh man, this might be harder than I thought. Well, how's that gonna work? Let me lay on my belly on the gravel here. Just go ahead and shove it in this way. Huh. I can tell that you're in there. Well, what's going on with you? All right, there is bolt or screw number 1. Now we just got to get the piece I dropped in there out, and I think it's much bigger, so it might only come out one way. I know it went in. Does that lift up? No, it doesn't lift up. Why would it? That would make it too easy. I hear you, just can't see you. Boom. Got it. All right, what we're going to do is go ahead, throw some more bolts into this one, move over that, and do the exact same thing. All right, so they are good. We do need to get the blocks, obviously, up here. We don't have any more blocks left, but they are on there. Check them out. And they are nice and level and everything. They look good. And what we'll do is go ahead and buy more of these. I think they're like 40 or 50 bucks, and they seem to work really, really well. So we'll buy some more of them. And then also I'll clean this mess up that I got going on. The camera wasn't on, but like, I don't know what happened behind me with the neighbors, but man, the dogs were going crazy. But the thing is that around here, which I don't understand, it wasn't really like this in Murrells Inlet or Surfside because there was ordinances against letting your dogs just roam. And here in Loris, there is no ordinance against that. Actually, I don't know if they have an ordinance against anything in Loris, to be quite honest with you, which from a law enforcement perspective is mind-blowing, but from another perspective, I mean, you gotta have ordinances in a city, you really, really do. But we have a couple people here that let their dogs just roam around. And then the thing is that there was definitely a dog fight somewhere back here, like an accidental one, I'm assuming, just by the noise. And so just don't let your dogs roam in other people's yards. It's really quite easy. We had a black lab in here yesterday. Luckily, Miko was out. Miko's super nice. The black lab was super nice. So there wasn't an issue, obviously. But if Willow was out, there would have been an issue because Willow don't put up with nothing. You know, like Willow, she'll fight. She'll throw down. She's your friend that you want on your side in a parking lot when things are about ready to go down. Willard's the one. Miko is not the one. She'll be the one handing out rainbows and flyers and stuff, and Willard's go ahead and she's putting her rings around backwards and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Putting her hair up, getting ready for it. So that's a gunshot in the city. I ain't ever, now in Columbia, South Carolina, there were gunshots in the cities all along. They were all illegal. These are legal gunshots. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Ordinances, I'm telling you, city ordinances, and a lot of people are like, city ordinances is bad. It helps out the law enforcement. That's all I'm saying. And also keep your dogs in your property. I don't think dogs should be on leashes on your own property. Obviously, that's crazy. I never agreed with dogs being on leashes at beaches, like in Surfside. If they're well-behaved, I think well-behaved dogs, like my canine, he could be off lead anywhere and be perfectly fine. I mean, he was well-trained, sit next to me, he ain't going nowhere. We sat in a church for 2 hours off lead. He didn't do nothing. But some dogs need to be on leashes. So it's just the responsibility of the actual, like the owner. I don't know how I got on this rant, but the black lab is coming in from back here. Boop. There's like a little walkway right there that he comes back and poops right here in this area. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put up another fence. Like, we're putting up so many fences, it's ridiculous, but it's all because of people allowing, like, even like other people just walking in and stuff like that when we're filming and stuff. We can't have that, obviously, and privacy reasons, obviously filming reasons and everything like that. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is put up a little fence back here. And then what we'll have is where the dog can't get it because there's a big ditch there. So that's not a huge deal, but it is a deal. Also, let's go ahead and check the solar panel to see if it's trickle charging the battery. Remember, it was at 1/3 on the battery. Let's see what it is now. Check that out, y'all. It's actually working. It is up to 2/3 and it's almost full. How cool is that? And that was not even in the sun. I'm telling you, this solar stuff is absolutely awesome when it comes to stuff like this. 50 bucks, boom, you charge your battery up, you're good to go. The lights should even work. They were getting a little dim in here, but I think the lights are on 12 volt, and then everything else is on like what else it would be, like shore. So we definitely, I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? I got these stabilizers on. I got that. Now also, I do want to go ahead and get these on right here because I don't know if they're the same size or not, but let's go ahead and take a look if they are. This is what I need. Obviously, I've had to buy 2 of them because you can't just buy one. Number one, you have one LED, one non-LED. This should be the same size. I'm also confused why this one has bolt holes on the outside and this one does not have bolt holes on the outside. You see what I'm saying? Bolt holes, no bolt holes. So let's go ahead. We'll have to pop this open, like the lens off. Lens off. Oh, just broke that. Hey, how you get the lens off? I might have to shut the camera off here for a second, push this in with some sort of tool, pop this off, and then connect this to this, and then we can go ahead and be legal. Like I said, this was broken, and I mean, I guess you could drill another hole up here, but honestly, the LED lights are so much nicer than these other lights that I might as well just go ahead, do this, silicone it back, and be good to go with both LEDs on our first travels wherever we're taking the RV. All right, check it out what I got going on. They actually had this like glued in with this type of glue, which is nasty stuff. So I'm gonna have to go up and get something to scrape all this stuff off of here. I'm sure it's for, it's definitely not for waterproofing because they had the silicone around the waterproofing type of thing. And we definitely have different color wires because why wouldn't you have different color wires? You know what I'm saying? We got a black, a green, and a white. And on this one, we have a red, a black, and a white. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with white to white, black to black, and green to red because green means go, red means stop. And if you think about it, that's probably what that means. So we'll go ahead, disconnect all this. I don't know if I can just pull this out of here or what, but we'll go ahead, disconnect this, cut it off of there, clean this mess up, and then go from there. I don't know if that's hair or probably not hair. I'm gonna guess insulation. But we'll go ahead, clean this caulk off of here really, really well, put new caulk or new silicone in there, switch the lights out. We won't be able to see if those lights work unless I hook up a 12. Yeah, we'll have to hook up the truck probably because I don't know how to do the pin thing. So we'll go ahead, hook the truck up later on to make sure that these things work well. But I think it's gonna be a big improvement. All right, got my electrical toolbox. I don't do a lot of electric stuff, but I can put wires together. I did. Also, remember, I rewired the thermostat in the house. The guy said I did it right, so that was solid. So we're just gonna go ahead, just snip those type of deal. And then we'll go ahead. Did I not bring my snip? Really? What type of electrical toolbox is this without a pair of snips? All right, well, what I'm gonna go ahead and do, go up there, get my crimpers, get my snippers, come back, cut those, attach them, reattach it to there, clean it, see what type of silicone caulk I have. I probably will not silicone that. It's not supposed to rain for a while until I get both of these done. So let's go ahead and get that done. I can't believe, I bet you my dad took them. Just kidding, he probably didn't. He probably has a whole bunch. But I do need to go up there and get these snips so I can snip the wires cleanly and then strip the wires, then put them together and then do something. One on, look, the new versus the old, check it out. Looks exactly the same, honestly, if you don't know really that I did it. What we're not gonna do is we're not gonna silicone these in yet until I actually know that they work. They're just screwed in here. I know why they put so much silicone on it, because there's a big gap here. There's a huge gap. Water would just seep into there. So we wanna go ahead and make sure that this is nice and like as much waterproofish as possible. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is start working on this one. All right, a little while later, we got this one on. Again, I'll go ahead and clear the caulk out a little bit later on and then caulk these up where they should be. But I am gonna hook the truck up first to make sure that they work before we do that. Really, we did this just so we could get that bracket because those brackets are actually attached to it. Doesn't make any sense, but that's the way they do it. So now we can put the license plate on and we will be good to go. I showed Kaylee. Kaylee got home with her mama and I showed her what I did. And she was impressed, but she was really upset I didn't get the struts on the inside. She was like, "You didn't put the struts on?" I said, "Nah, I did not." Also, I was hitting the wrong button. I was hitting the fresh water tank at 2/3. The battery's still at 1/3. So it hasn't done nothing with the solar panel. I knew that was too good to be true because honestly it has not been. It's still saying it's charging. I don't know how because there's no sun. So I don't really know what's going on with that. The next project is probably going to be these. I'm pretty sure Kayla wants these on. These are these little struts that come up here that when you do this, you open it up, it kind of goes shoot. And then it makes that sound and kind of makes it, you know, where it doesn't fall down on it. 'Cause these are actually very heavy because they have this like plastic glass thing in there. So we'll go ahead and figure that out. We will get that done. Then after that, I would like to put some LEDs up underneath of this bad boy. I'm a big fan of lights on the bottom. When I do the garage, you're gonna see that I might put some different type of lighting underneath toolboxes and stuff like that. I just like ground lights. I like lights on the ground for some, I don't know why. Might be the 40-year-old in me that back in the day, that's what we did to our cars. I had lights all over my cars. I had lights to the music. It was a train wreck. But so I think this is gonna go ahead and end what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna clean up. I'm losing daylight rapidly. So we're gonna go ahead and do is clean all this mess up. And tomorrow is actually, it's Jeep weekend right now. So I think tomorrow we're gonna go hang out at the beach with all the Jeeps. Kayla wants to see if there's any vendors so we can get new headlights for her Jeep, ones with the halos in them. And then after that, we do not have a Whatnot show tomorrow. We start Whatnot on November 8th. And that's gonna be our first Christmas show. And then one day soon, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can talk somebody into helping me do this. I can't do it alone. I mean, I could try to do it alone, but maybe I could talk my wife into helping me do this. And then we can get all this stuff out there so it doesn't look absolutely ridiculous. And then other than that, I think that'll be it. I'll keep you posted to see if that solar panel works right now. Not working, I was wrong. We're gonna go ahead and close this up, clean everything up, and I will see y'all tomorrow.